Game 2 coming your way here back at the Concordia Chicago Softball Stadium. Cougars fell 3-2 in Game 1 to the Edgewood College Eagles. They're now looking for the doubleheader split to send them into the Easter holiday. Justin Bjorsuth with you on the call as we get set for game number 2. Kate Roberts is on the bump for the Cougars. She will be making her 4th start of the year, 8th appearance overall for the senior. She owns a 3.50 ERA in 18 innings pitched. She's allowed 25 hits, 12 runs, 9 of them earned, issued 10 walks, struck out 13. Opponents are hitting .316 off of her to this point. As we are ready to go in game number 2, the catcher Olivia Aber leads things off for Edgewood. She batted second last game. A little bit of a shift in certain parts of the Eagles lineup. The same goes for the Cougars. We'll get to that when they are at the plate. Aber is followed by Loftswold, who batted leadoff for Edgewood in game 1, followed by Maurer, Kazubuski, Ott, Sanchez, Malarski. Pustina is the one new name in the lineup. She is the starting pitcher in game 2 for the Eagles. She bats 8th, rounded out once again by Mackenzie Doherty, the shortstop. And again, the designated fielder is Lauren Hillman out in center for the Eagles. Cougars defense looks like this. Once again, the starting pitcher's battery mate is Becky Peroni behind the plate. Same infield from third over to first. Haley Howard is at third. Tegan Ose at short. Carol Ross at second. Sydney Palaskis Lawher is at first. Out in left field is Game 1's starter Ashley Schroll. In center field is once again Sydney Sterrett. Out in right, Nia DeGeorge. So aside from the pitcher swap, Schroll has gone to left field in place of Gina Westfall, who played out there in Game 1. The rest of the Cougars lineup is the same defensively. And if you want to go as far as their designated player, it is once again the sophomore Bella Archuleta. Roberts works a full count here on the first batter, and that ball is laced foul. We'll do it again. Aber in game 1, 3 for 4, earning her spot at leadoff for this game, and she shoots one to short. Ose knocks it down, but all that's going to do is prevent it from rolling into the outfield. It's a leadoff single for Aber, her 4th hit of the day already, and that brings up Kyle Loftswood. The left fielder in the leadoff spot in game 1 was 2 for 4 with an RBI and a couple of strikeouts. Top part of this Edgewood order was very good in game 1 against Ashley Schroll. They now face a senior after seeing a freshman in game 1. Roberts is behind 1-0. Like I mentioned, some shakeups to particularly the top and bottom of the Cougars batting order. We'll get to that in the bottom half of the first. Same faces for the most part, just different places. And she shows bunt, and it's a good one down to Howard. She'll fire to first. Loftswood does her job, moves the runner into scoring position with 1 out for Elise Maurer. Once again, it's 3 freshmen to start the order off for the Eagles. Maurer 0 for 4 in game 1. Looking to flush that right now. and maybe even get her team on the board in the first here. She swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt. However, it's 0-1 as the sun creeps out for the first time in a little while. It is mostly overcast skies. Sun is directly above us, however, so when it is out, it is warm. When it's not, well, not so much. Strike 2 on the corner for Roberts. It's Keith Tillman behind the plate here in Game 2. He was the field ump in Game 1, and the home plate ump from Game 1, James Jones, is out in the field. He stands at short behind Tegan Ose. That pitch is hit towards second. Ross has the catch. Retreating back to second is Air Bear. And 2 away now in the first for the cleanup hitter, designated player, Haley Kazabowski. Kazabowski in Game 1 in this same cleanup spot as a designated player, 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. So, someone who is definitely happy to see anybody but Ashley Schroll standing in the circle, but Roberts works ahead on her, 0-1. Kazabowski, one of 3 left-handed hitters in the order for Edgewood, and that includes Grace Pustina, the pitcher, who we'll see in the bottom half of this inning, and hopefully not before, as that shot into center caught by Starrett as she's running in, fell right into her glove, and that does it for the top half of the first. Eagles get a leadoff hit, but do nothing with it. We're to the bottom of the first. 0-0. Bottom of the first inning here in game number 2 in River Forest. Ashley Schroll leads things off for the Cougars. She's playing left field here in game 2 after going 8 innings in the circle in game 1. So we mentioned it was a little bit of a different lineup in game 2 here for the Cougars. Schroll is followed by Sydney Starrett, Becky Peroni, and Bella Archuleta in the 3 and 4 hole, respectively. Nia DeGeorge bats 5th. Carol Ross hits 6th. Haley Howard 7th. Sydney Palaskis Law her 8th. And Tegan Ose 9th. So what's interesting about this lineup, the middle of it is more or less the same, but the top and the bottom have essentially flipped from what we saw in game 1 as it's chopped to short. Easy play for Doherty, who retires Schroll to begin the game, and that brings up Sydney Starrett. What we saw in game 1 and what we've seen most of the year, Haley Howard has been, for the most part, doing the leadoff duties for the Cougars. She now hits 7th. And Tegan Ose, who typically bats 2nd, is batting 9th as that bunt is foul off the bat of Sydney Starrett. Ashley Schroll hits leadoff. She batted 8th in game 1, and Sydney Starrett, who is typically can be penciled into the 9 hole for the Cougars. We discussed her as sort of serving as the old school double leadoff hitter in game number 1 as she grounds out there, batting 2nd now in game number 2, but here is something that remains the same. Becky Peroni steps in the 3 spot. She had both the Cougars' RBIs in game 1, all 3 of their RBIs against Dominican yesterday. For the second straight game, the Cougars up against a left-handed pitcher. I'd be interested to know when the last time the Cougars faced 2 left-handed pitchers over the course of a doubleheader was. I don't know. That would take a little bit of finding, but if anyone is at home and bored and looking to do something, Peroni skies this one to left, and it's gone! Peroni, her second home run of the day. Her 3rd straight game with a homer. That's now 6 on the year, and the Cougars are on the board first here in the bottom of the 1st. It's almost becoming weird when a game goes by that Peroni doesn't leave the yard. So she enjoys seeing this left-handed pitching, it would appear. It's 1-0 Cougars, and that brings up Bella Archuleta. We talked about that wind out to left a little bit in game 1, but no one had gotten one in the air out there for the most part. That one off the bat, I wasn't sure. The last few she's had to center field sort of knew off the bat. That one I had to wait and see, watching the left fielder, as it's now 1-1 after the foul tip there from Bella Archuleta. Doing the designated player duties for the 2nd consecutive game. Bella was 2 for 3 in game number 1. Batting in the 5th spot. So she moves to clean up now. As we said, the middle of the order, more or less the same. Some minor shifts, but the names are what you've come to expect in the middle of this Cougar lineup this season. 1-2 offering to Archuleta, taken outside. It's 2-2. Again taken outside. The count runs full, and we'll have the payoff pitch upcoming here to the Cougar sophomore and Pueblo, Colorado native. The pitch, grounded foul. Grace Pustina, a sophomore, on the bump for the Eagles in game number 2. She has a 7.07 ERA on the season, a 2-4 record. This is her 7th start and 9th appearance. Has a couple complete games to her credit. Her 35 2/3 innings are 2nd most on the team behind Tatum Duff, who we saw go the distance in game number 1. That's her 6th home run allowed on the year, the one Peroni hit. Opponents are batting .388 off Pustina on the season. Once again, the payoff pitch to Archuleta. Taken for ball 4. And with 2 outs, there is a runner aboard on first for Nia DeGeorge, who steps in to the box. The Cougar right fielder.
Now batting the right fielder, number 11, Nia DeGeorge.
Looking to flush her 0 for 2 performance in game number 1. A good chance to do so here. Shows bunt, takes a ball. It's 1-0 on the senior. One offering coming, is shot in the air to right field, dropping into the glove of the second baseman Sanchez. She makes the catch to retire the side, but not before Becky Peroni hits her 6th home run of the season and gives the Cougars a 1-0 lead. We're heading to the 2nd. Back here for the second inning in River Forest. It'll be the designated player, Grace Ott, or the first baseman, Grace Ott, rather. I was looking at the fourth spot in the order. Ott is batting fifth. She was the hero for the Eagles in game number 1. Not only did she play some solid defense out at first base, but she had the go-ahead homer in the 8th inning, more famously. That was the difference maker in the Eagles' 3-2 win over the Cougars. So we've seen the Sluggers leave the yard for both teams. And if you're the Cougars, you're hoping that Ott does not once again match Peroni's home run as she did in game 1. 1-1 is the count. Roberts looks at her wrist for the sign. I still don't think I'm over the delay of game called in game number 1. I'll probably be thinking about that the rest of the weekend. That and the full team mound visit that took place at second base. Two interesting things I've never really seen is that ball is hit to first, diving stop. Pulaskis Lawher Ross is there to cover. Bang, bang play. It'll be an infield single for Ott. A great effort all around for the Cougars, as well as for Ott racing down the line and getting on base with the leadoff infield single. Ross was there. The throw was there. I think it was just in the footwork, and that's, not the worst thing in the world. You want to be careful over there when you have two people running toward the base. You don't want anybody to get tangled up with one another. You want to make sure you have the base and have your footing. That's strike 1 right down the middle to Jenna Sanchez, the second baseman. So for the second inning in a row, the leadoff batter has reached for the Eagles. Roberts was able to work around it in the first. We'll see if she can do that again here, as that is popped foul and caught in foul territory by Pulaskis Lawher over at first. For out number 1. Elizabeth Malarski will step to the plate now.
Batter now is the right fielder, number 7, Elizabeth Mularski.
She plays right field for the Eagles. Was 2 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts in game number 1. As she takes strike 1 down the middle from Roberts. Howard, as is typical with her, well in front of the bag at third. That's fouled off now, 0-2, especially when there's a runner on base or Howard thinks there's any sort of threat for a bunt. We'll see her play very close to the plate by the time the pitch is thrown. With 2 strikes now, though, Howard stands behind the bag. Back in more normal depth, though she creeps in now. The pitch is in the dirt. It's 1-2. Roberts would love to roll 2 here if possible. Cougars have a very strong defensive middle of the infield. And Carol Ross and Tegan Ose, as that ball is skied high to Ose. At short, she'll make the catch near third, calling off Haley Howard, and there's 2 away in the second.
With 2 outs, that brings up the pitcher, number 3, Grace Pustina.
And here's our first time seeing Grace Pustina so far today at the plate. She faces her counterpart, Kate Roberts, on the mound. She bunts. Howard fields, throws to first. That'll end the inning. So once again, the leadoff runner reaches, and once again, Kate Roberts works around it. We're to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Cougars. Bottom of the second here in River Forest. Carol Ross set to lead things off for the Cougars. She'll be followed by Haley Howard, Sydney Palaskis-Lawher, and the 9-hole hitter Tegan Ose if we are to get there.
Leading off for the Cougars in the bottom of the second. Second baseman number 6, Carol Ross.
The first pitch from Pustina is taken low for a ball. Ross 0 for 3 in game number 1. Looking to change that as soon as possible here. She takes outside now 2-0. So already we're seeing that outside strike that seemed to be there in game 1, at least early on, may not be there here in game number 2. Ross jams one foul off the netting behind the plate. It's 2-1. The 2-1 pitch is once again fouled off nearly the exact same spot on the netting. Counts 2-2. And again, out onto Division Street. That'll bounce up and hit a tree across the street. And we'll do the 2-2 once more. It's just kind of sitting there in the street right now. Someone will be on it. That's upstairs. Count runs full. Payoff pitch upcoming. As the ball has indeed been retrieved. No one was hurt in the process. The payoff pitch. Chopped foul. Back behind her, and we'll do it again. Ross looking to get on to lead off the inning here for the Cougars, who already scored in the first frame as that shot to her counterpart Sanchez at second. Sanchez fires over to Ott at first, and that's out number 1, bringing up the third baseman Haley Howard.
With 1 out, that brings up the third baseman number 33, Haley Howard.
Outside corner for a strike, so perhaps I misspoke earlier when I said the outside corner wasn't going to be a spot for these pitchers here in game number 2. That's in the dirt. Kicks away, 1-1 on Howard. Howard in game 1 in the leadoff spot, 0 for 4 with a strikeout. So Coach O'Malley Fisher just putting her in a different spot in the order, seeing if maybe a new approach or a new feel can help lead to some offense. She's down 1-2 in the count here, however. And the pitch, Howard wanted to offer, decided wisely to lay off, and that evens the count at 2-2. 2-2 pitch upcoming in the dirt. And for the second time in as many batters this inning, the count runs full. So another full count for Pustina, who fires home. And again, Sanchez is going to get the putout. A liner to her. She took a few steps back, threw the glove up, and made a nice catch. 2 are away here in the Cougar half of the second. That brings up Sydney Palaskis-Lawher.
Now batting the first baseman, number 13, Sydney Palaskis-Lawher.
Sid PL in game number 1 was the designated fielder, so this is our first time seeing her bat today, and she will line right out to her counterpart on the first pitch. That ends the second inning. So the Cougars go down in order. We're off to the third. CUC leads 1-0. Back here now into the third inning in River Forest, game number 2. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Cougar Sports Network. Justin Bjorsup on the call alongside stats guy CJ Selner, the Director of Athletic Communications, our student workers, Amaya Martin and Ryan McGee, who helped make all of this magic happen. As a count 0-1 on the 9-hole hitter, Mackenzie Doherty, who does the shortstop duties for the Eagles. Mackenzie in the 9-hole in game number 1. One for 2 with a run scored and a walk. So, very solid production out of the 9-hitter. She chops to third. Howard up with it. Throws to Pulaskis Law for out number 1. Roberts makes quick work of Doherty, and the lineup flips over back to the top. It's Olivia Hebert, who is 1 for 1.
With one out, that brings up the catcher, number 16, Olivia Hebert.
And Hebert shoots one into center. This is trouble. Stare it back at the track. She watches it fly. Hebert has tied the game with her second hit of the afternoon. And she is thriving thus far in the leadoff spot. For Hebert on the season now.
Now batting the left fielder, number 6, Kyle Lockwood.
That is her third long ball. 15 ribbies, so some pretty solid power numbers from the catcher. So both catchers have gone deep now in game number 2. Both catching both halves of a doubleheader. Obviously not tired, though. That pitch is grounded. Pulaskis Lauer, good scoop. She takes it herself. 3 unassisted for the Cougar first baseman, and there are now 2 away after the home run.
2 outs, that brings up the third baseman, number 2, Elise.
Elise Maurer bats now. Roberts deals ball 1. Always good to get the quick out after giving up the long ball, which Roberts did. Solo home runs usually won't hurt you. Obviously, if you're the Cougars, you had to feel like it was going to take more than 1 run to win this game. So you just hope to get back in the dugout quickly here, regroup, and get to work on offense. First, they must get Maurer, though, who's ahead 1-0 in the count. Chopped foul down the third base line. Hit pretty hard. Evens the count at 1-1 as the ball is retrieved and returned to Roberts in the circle. Two and 1 is the count. I apologize for the confusion. That's on the inside corner for strike 2. Roberts is a pitch away from putting this inning behind her and getting the bats back to work. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Cougars in the third. The pitch up and away. The count runs full. Tegan Ost, the 9-hitter, leads things off for the Cougars in the bottom half of this inning. She's followed by Schroll and Starrett at the top. For now, we are lasered in on this 3-2 pitch from Roberts. It's low, ball 4. And a 2-out walk brings Haley Kazubuski to the plate.
Now batting the designated player, number 1, Haley Kazubuski.
chopped foul down the first base line. It's 0-1 on the Eagles' designated player. Cougars in their home whites, gold sleeves, maroon pants, high gold socks. To match the sleeves, that's strike number 2. Edgewood, black pants, sort of mixed unis, black on the bottom, blending into the pants, white stripes in the middle, and gray at the top. The pitch. Lined into right center field. This is trouble. This is up against the wall. Starrett retrieves it. Goes into second. The tag's safe. Luckily for the Cougars, Maurer did not attempt to race home on that. A good throw into second and a good tag placed as well. Good tag put down as well, but that ball was smoked. That was trouble off the bat, and now,
First baseman, number 23, Grace Ott.
speaking of trouble, Grace Ott is coming up to the plate. We've already saw the damage she can do today. And she's already 1 for 1 in game 2, so we're going to have a meeting at the mound between Coach O'Malley Fisher and her infield. Roberts now deals with Ott. Second and third, 2 outs, and that pitch in the dirt. Racing home is Maurer. She's going to score. And the Cougars, or the Eagles rather, take a 2-1 lead here in the third with their second run of the inning. Pitch from Roberts, taken for ball 2. Edgewood working on a big inning here. 2 runs already across. Another one standing potentially at third base as Roberts misses well outside there. 3-0 the count on Ott. The pitch. Well outside once more, ball 4. And we're going to get a pitching change from Coach O'Malley Fisher here. Timeout has been called, and we'll be right back. Back here now in the top half of the third, it's Holly Beachy in to do, or to attempt to minimize the damage this inning. 2 runs have already scored, one a solo home run, the other raced home on a wild pitch. And runners still stand at first and third with 2 outs, and Beachy fires a strike for her first pitch of the day. Beachy went the distance in the loss to Dominican yesterday morning right here at the CUC softball field. She pitched well in the loss. The Cougars led that game going into the 7th inning. That's just low. The throw down to second, they got her. Kind of weird, she didn't slide. They applied the tag standing up. Ost just kind of caught it in the perfect spot. A good throw from Peroni. That ends the inning, but not before Edgewood jumps to a 2-1 lead. Cougars will try to get it back here when we return for the bottom of the third. Bottom half of the third here. The Cougars trailing for the first time in this game. It's Tegan Ost, the shortstop for the Cougars, batting .283 on the season. She goes after the first pitch and skies it to shallow right. Jenna Sanchez back makes the nice play in retreat from second base. It goes 4 on the putout. And there's one away in the Cougar half of the third. That flips the lineup over. Ashley Schroll steps in. It'll be the order's second look at Pustina. And she also chases the first pitch right to third. And she is retired. So 2 pitches and 2 outs for Pustina here in the third. She'll take that rate all day, every day. It's Sydney Starrett now for the Cougars.
Now batting the center fielder, number 5, Sydney Starrett.
The senior from Lafayette, Indiana. Takes outside for a ball, so it will not be a 3-pitch inning. Had to assume for Starrett the plan was probably to take that first pitch the entire way as to avoid a 3-pitch inning. That's taken for a strike on the outside corner. 1-1 the count on the center fielder. She has started in center field, or not in center field, but has started in all 20 games for the Cougars, and she lines out to short there. That ends a very quick bottom of the third. We are off to the fourth. Cougars trail 2-1.
top of the fourth.
Fourth inning here in River Forest. It is the six-hitter, second baseman number 8, Jenna Sanchez, to lead things off for the Eagles, who hold a 2-1 lead over the Cougars. Holly Beachy working in relief, fires strike one. Beachy has a third of an inning on her stat line so far today, coming in with runners at first and third and 2 outs last inning and working her way out of it before any more damage was done. Edgewood scored both their runs last inning. The Cougars scored on a Becky Peroni home run in the first. That has been it offensively for CUC. And that ball is skied high to short. Tegan Ose barely has to move. She makes the catch, and that's out number 1.
With 1 out, that brings up the right fielder, number 7, Elizabeth Malarski.
Elizabeth Malarski bats now. Well, this is certainly an interesting note on the roster sheet. She is listed as a right-handed hitter. Obviously, if you're watching at home, you're not seeing things. That's not the case. She's hitting left-handed. And I think that's been the case all day. I think I just noticed it looking at the lineup card as that hits her. She's all good, though, after a quick check from Keith Tillman, the home plate umpire.
Now batting the pitcher, number
And that
3,
brings up Grace Pustina, who is listed as a left-handed hitter. Pustina has been excellent on the mound through 3. She drops a bunt there. It's foul off the net right in front of us. 0-1. Shows bunt again. This is a good one because it causes some confusion. Tegan Ose isn't going to have a throw anywhere. So that was Haley Howard was creeping in, expecting to make the play on that, but that had a little bit more jump off the bat than I think the Cougars expected. It rolled past Howard and Beachy to a charging Ose, who by the time she picked it up at shortstop did not have a play at either base. It's first and second, 1 out for the Eagles here now, with the 9-hole hitter Mackenzie Doherty stepping to the plate. So some unfortunate luck for the Cougars there. Beachy deals, Doherty swings and misses strike 1. Beachy's next pitch, another bunt. This one, Beachy fields herself. No one's at first base. So, back-to-back, I guess, miscommunications on bunts. More bad luck for the Cougars, who now face a bases-loaded situation in the top of the order coming up in Olivia Hebert. Hebert homered in her last at-bat. She's 2 for 2 in Game 2 so far, so a very dangerous hitter to have at the plate if you're CUC. If you're Edgewood, probably the exact person you want at the plate. Bases loaded, 1 out. The infielders meet at the mound.
catcher, number 16, Olivia Hebert.
So what happened on that last bunt is Palaskis Lawher came charging from first, but Beachy was the one to pick it up. When Beachy turned to throw to first, neither Palaskis Lawher nor Ross were there. That's right to Palaskis Lawher. She comes home to Peroni for out number 1. Out number 2 in the inning. Out number 1 on what I had thought may be a double play, but a good play from Palaskis Lawher, a heads-up play to know what she was going to do if the ball was hit to her. They get the lead runner, stop out the run, and now there's 2 outs.
Fielder, number 6, Kaya Lawfoot.
So the Cougars aren't out of trouble yet, but now 2 outs in the inning. Kyle Loftswood is the batter. Beachy looking to work out of a serious jam. She fires strike 1. Past Loftswood. That ball is floated to left. Schroll makes the catch. And I don't know if she knew there were 2 outs because she was ready to fire that ball home and try to throw out a potential runner tagging from third, but that does end the inning, and we are on to the bottom of the 4th. Cougars trail 2-1. Home half of the 4th here in River Forest, and stepping to the plate to lead things off is the catcher, Becky Peroni. She has 2 solo shots across the 2 games today and is responsible for all 3 of the Cougars' RBIs in these 2 games. Another long ball here would tie it at 2. She shoots it up the middle for a base hit, swing out of the first pitch, and that gets past the center fielder and rolls to the wall. Peroni rounds second. She's going for third, and she's in there sliding. A leadoff single for Peroni plus some heads-up base running. She is opportunistic and takes third base, and she's standing there with nobody out.
Now batting is the designated player number 1, Bella Archuleta.
It's a big spot here, a big opportunity for Bella Archuleta in the cleanup spot in the Cougars' order. Hitting .375 this year. She chases the first pitch, too, and that's up the middle for a base hit. 2 straight hacks at the first pitch, 2 straight singles to center. Archuleta singles home Peroni, and we are tied at 2. And we're going to have a runner for Archuleta here, I believe, is going to be the move that Coach O'Malley Fisher is discussing with home plate ump Keith Tillman, and Gina Westfall exits the dugout and makes her way toward first base. She's going to run for Bella. I assume Bella will return to the lineup when her spot next comes around. She's the designated player today. So definitely a change in approach for the Cougars coming into this inning and going up there attacking the first pitch. We had talked about Pristina's numbers briefly this season.
Bringing in first base for Concordia, number 9, Gina Westfall.
She'd allowed
number 11, Nita DeGeorge.
36 earned runs in 35 2/3 innings pitched, but the Cougars have not been able to get much going. Pristina has looked very good today. Now we'll see how she adjusts to the Cougars swinging early as we have another first pitch swing and another hit to center field, but this is going to end unfortunately for the Cougars as Westfall is called out at second, so it'll technically be ruled a fielder's choice. 8-6 on the out for Edgewood, and you know, if you're Westfall, there's really nothing you can do there. You got to wait and make sure that ball gets down so you don't get doubled off, and it was shallow enough when it fell, so though the crowd disagreed, the call was out. So 3 straight base runners reach, but DeGeorge does by fielder's choice, and the Cougars get it back. Carol Ross drops one just over the head of the third baseman on what I thought off the bat would be a pop-up. So if you want to look at it that way, that makes up for the unfortunate play one batter before. And now all 4 batters that have come to the plate this inning have swung at the first pitch, and they have all reached base in some sort of capacity. The Cougars have tied this game up at 2 and have 2 runners on with 1 out here in the 4th. Haley Howard steps to the plate. And I would bet she's going to swing at the first pitch, but maybe not. Who knows? If the pattern holds, she absolutely will. Takes a strike on the outside corner, some late movement on that pitch. I do not really blame Howard for not taking a hack at it. She's seen it now, though. The falling pitch is fouled off the netting over the Cougar dugout, and it's 0-2. Pustina a chance here to regain some momentum in the circle after the Cougars came out in full ambush mode to start this inning. Pitch taken upstairs for a ball. It's 1-2. One-two upcoming. Howard once again fouls it off. One-two pitch is again fouled off. This one well out of play to the right side. And once more, the 1-2 to Howard. Chop to third, foul. Howard legs it out down the line, but will have to return to the batter's box to do it again here. Howard shoots one into the gap in left center field. This is off the wall. DeGeorge is going to score. Ross holds at third. Howard pulls up into second with an RBI double. Oh, and now they tried to sneak Ross in behind. She's out at home on the throw from, I believe, the shortstop. Cougars tried to catch the Eagles sleeping. They have the lead. 3-2 now. Tried to get a fourth there. And then out on the base paths in an inning where the Cougars are absolutely hitting the cover off the ball. Palaskis-Lauer shoots one down the right field line, just foul. That was not foul by much, and had that been fair, it would have scored Howard easily, as she is running on contact with 2 outs. Bats taken low for a ball. The count even now at 1-1 on the Cougar first baseman. Christine Wines pitches low, 2-1. Cougars now back in front here in the 4th. Trying to add to it. Taken for a strike on the outside part of the plate. It's 2-2. 2-2, 2 outs. Runner on second, 2 runs home. Cougars lead 3-2. The pitch grounded to second. scooped and thrown over to first. That retires the side, but not before the Cougars come out in a full ambush mode and push 2 across the plate. They lead 3-2 after 4. Fifth inning now here in River Forest. We're over halfway through this one, though. When I said that last game, we ended up playing 8, so we're actually only exactly halfway through. So I apologize for the misinformation in Game 1. We'll see what happens here in Game 2. Holly Beachy is pitching with a lead for the first time today in relief, and she fires a ball to start the inning off. It's Elise Maurer batting for Edgewood, the 3-hole hitter, and third baseman, and she takes a hack at that one and fouls it just over the net and out of play to even the count at 1-1. Roberts, the starter in today's game for the Cougars, is now off the hook from the decision as Carol Ross goes deep into right field to make that catch. Her and DeGeorge kind of laugh about how far Ross ranged back to catch that one, but it's 1 out nonetheless. So Kate Roberts was going to be responsible for the losing decision had the Cougars not rallied, but now with the lead, they've given Holly Beachy a chance to pick up her 5th win of the season. As that ball is taken maybe inside, maybe a little low, 1-0 on Kazabuski. It's inside, 2-0 on the cleanup hitter. That's on the outside corner, 2-1. Great spot from Beachy, who was working inside the first 2 pitches. Showed her a little something different there, going outside. Beachy communicating with her catcher, Peroni. As that ball is laced to second, caught by Carol Ross, who now has 2 very different putouts this inning, and 2 are away for Grace Ott.
With 2 outs, that brings up the first baseman, number 23, Grace Ott.
Sun's still trying to fight its way out of the clouds, but it's become very overcast here in River Forest. So that is popped shallow. Pulaskis Lauer makes the play, and it's a very quick inning of work for Beachy. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 3-2 Cougars. Bottom of the 5th here in River Forest. Justin Bjorsath on the call alongside CJ Selner, Ryan McGee, and Amaya Martin. Cougars are ahead 3-2. As Tegan Osh shows bunt, drops one down, fielded by the third baseman. She'll fire to the second baseman, Sanchez, covering first for out number 1. So after a very quick top half of the inning, it's 1 pitch, 1 out for Grace Pustina here working in her 5th inning. Ashley Schroll, the batter now, as the lineup flips back over to the top. And Schroll takes low. That's a ball. Sun breaks back through the clouds. Schroll grounds one to second. Sanchez bobbles a backhand but recovers nicely and throws to Ott at first for out number 2. So with 2 outs and nobody on, it is up to the 2-hole hitter, Sydney Starrett, to get a rally going this inning. What she does in this at-bat will determine whether or not Becky Peroni will have to take off her shin guards in the on-deck circle. That's a strike on the outside corner, 0-1 to Starrett. Nothing in 2, rather. Thought there had been a pitch. Starrett stays live, fouls one off the left side. Nearly rolls into the Edgewood dugout. Pustina gets the ball back. And we're ready once more for the 0-2 to Starrett. She slaps one foul down the left field line once again. And once again it remains 0-2. Once again the 0-2 offering. This one slapped. This is fair. This is trouble. This is down for a 2-out hit. Split between the shortstop, left fielder, and third baseman. That one just found a hole. And Starrett's on for Becky Peroni.
Now batting the catcher, number 14, Becky Peroni.
We'll see what Peroni can do here. She has a homer and a single so far today. She reached third on that single after the ball was misplayed in center field. Rolled all the way to the wall. She chops this one to third. Third baseman charging in front of the shortstop. Maurer makes the play to retire the side. We head to the 6th. Cougars lead 3-2. Top of the 6th here in River Forest. Holly Beachy back to work. She's been tremendous out of relief for the Cougars so far. as this game, that ball past the diving Howard and then kicks off so that's going to be a leadoff infield single for Jenna Sanchez. As both teams now taking the approach of attacking early in these at-bats. We've seen a lot of first pitch swings in the past couple innings, which have made for some quick innings, but also is responsible for the Cougars having the lead after they came up swinging at every first pitch to start the bottom half of the fourth. It's a ball outside. Oh, it's a strike on the outside corner. I didn't see the signal from the umpire. Malarski behind 0-1. She shows bunt, it's popped up. Peroni makes the catch, looks back to first, but Sanchez was back in plenty of time. Out number 1 for the Cougars here in the 6th inning.
With 1 out, that brings up the pitcher, number 3, Grace Pustina.
Grace Pustina trying to help herself out here. She is currently in line for the loss as the starting pitcher for Edgewood. She's pitched well today outside of that bottom of the 4th inning where the Cougar bats seemed nearly unstoppable. They had an out, and that ball is bunted, fielded by Beachy, her counterpart, but good speed is going to put Pustina at first. And a runner in scoring position for the Eagles with 1 out here in the 6th.
Shortstop, number 10, Mackenzie Doherty.
In that 4th inning, the Cougars had a very unfortunate out committed on a fielder's choice on a ball that, on a base hit, what appeared to be a base hit, landed in center field, but good base running from the Cougars actually resulted in a fielder's choice as Gina Westfall was thrown out at second, waiting to make sure that ball did in fact land, and another out was committed at home plate. So really, it was an excellent inning for the Cougars at the dish. Beachy working with an 0-1 count here. That ball is bunted foul, and it's 0-2 on Mackenzie Doherty. This would be a big out to get here. Olivia Hebert on deck has been the biggest threat in the Eagles lineup in Game 2 here. We've already seen her leave the yard, and the wind is still howling out to left, so that ball is shot foul off the netting, caught by Haley Howard, but that won't count, even though that would add a very exciting dynamic to everything. Taken for a ball. A great 0-2 pitch from Beachy there. Doherty 1 for 2 in this game. Looking for her second hit. Beachy looking for the second out of the inning as that is skied foul back behind us and out of play. Pitch upstairs, 2-2. Jammed her on the wrist, and she shoots it foul back behind the dish, out of play, and I believe we're in need of a new ball. We have one. Beachy goes back to the circle. Clouds creep back over the sun. Chopped foul. And this is getting to be a long at-bat here for Doherty. 10 pitches, 9 pitches. This will be 10 coming up. A very good at-bat for the 9-hole hitter regardless. She is making Beachy work. The pitch taken outside. We'll do an 11th pitch. This one will be of the payoff variety. The pitch. Popped, foul, back behind the plate and out of play once again. This has been one of the best battles we have seen all day. It's getting to be a very long AB for Doherty. As Beachy changed speeds on her there, and Doherty just got a piece of it, and you can believe it, fouled it straight back. Beachy fires once again, and once again it's fouled right back. So Doherty is right on these. It's now 14 pitches in this at-bat, 15th coming up. Everyone involved kind of just laughing about it. This has been by far the longest at-bat of the afternoon now. And that one is hit into fair territory. It's if all of that ends in an infield fly, just as we all suspected. And they're 2 away in the inning, but the Cougars are far from out of trouble. It's Olivia Hebert. And she'll go over to third base and talk to her head coach, Allie Taylor, before we get any pitch in this at-bat. And the Cougars will take this time to meet on the mound, and Coach O'Malley Fisher figures she might as well come out and offer any advice she can to her pitcher and her infielders as to what to do with Hebert. Hebert is 2 for 3 with a solo home run. Hebert is a freshman from Middleton, Wisconsin. 5'10" catcher. In search of what would be a very big hit here if she's able to deliver. It would likely tie the game. Beachy looking to keep the Cougars ahead and put them 3 outs away from a doubleheader split. At strike 2, she gets the call on the outside corner, and now Beachy 1 strike away from working out of this. Getting the Cougar bats back to the plate. That's taken upstairs, 1-2. Outside now 2-2. The count is evened up. The 5'10" Abear stands in. She is the tallest player on Edgewood's roster. She fouls this one off. Almost hitting our GoPro behind the plate. Two and two coming here. 2 outs. Shot to second. Ross Fields. She throws to first and retires the side. Beachy works out of trouble. Ross to Palaskis Lawher to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Cougars lead 3-2. Bottom of the 6th here for the Cougars, and what they hope is their last day at-bats of the game. Bella Archuleta will re-enter in the designated player's spot she was pinch ran for following her last at-bat. She leads things off for the Cougars here now. Looking to once again spark a rally. We'll see if she takes the first pitch. She does take it for a strike. She was the rally sparker back in the 4th inning for the Cougars. One of many rally sparkers that inning. That's taken up and in to even the count at 1. The 1-1 pitch. Skips away, now 2-1. On the Cougar cleanup hitter, Nia DeGeorge waits on deck. She is followed by Carol Ross. And if we get there, Haley Howard. 2-1 is chopped to third. Up with it, Maurer throws across the diamond to Ott, and that is out, number 1. DeGeorge now to bat for CUC. She's 0 for 2 on the day. She is the proprietor of that unfortunate fielder's choice back in the 4th. She skies this one foul. Nearly an amazing catch from Doherty. A tremendous effort nonetheless. The range to get into foul territory from the shortstop position she laid out. And I thought for a second she was going to have it, so Doherty pulling out all the stops today. First a 15-pitch at bat, and then nearly the best catch of the day. And that is shot foul by DeGeorge. It's now 0-2 following 2 foul balls. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. The ball gets away, though. The throw down to first beats DeGeorge by a step. And we're going to have a pinch hitter here. Alexis Hilgert doing pinch hitting duties for the second game in a row. She bats for Carol Ross here with nobody on and 2 out in the bottom half of the 6th.
Pinch hitting for Concordia, number 21, Alexis Hilgert.
The first pitch to Hilgert is low, ball 1. Hilgert swings through that pitch that was a little low. And the count's even now at 1. Now that's low again, 2-1. Pitch shot up the middle. It's a 2-out hit for Hilgert. She's on with 2 away here in the 6th, and she represents a very big insurance run for the Cougars. As Haley Howard steps into the plate looking to drive in that insurance run, and I believe Carol Ross will now re-enter to run for Hilgert, who did her job in her pinch hitting role. Hilgert having a good laugh about being pulled for Ross to run the bases. So Ross re-enters. She's at first. She represents, as I mentioned, a very big insurance run for the Cougars, who are going to look to close this game out in the top half of the 7th. Ball is low to Haley Howard. The count's 1-0. Two and 0 or 3-0 now, 2-0. 2-0. And the throwback down to first is not in time to get Ross. The pitch lined foul down the third base line. 2-1 now the count on Haley Howard, the Cougar third baseman. She gets some advice from Coach G down at third base. That ball is lined to first. It'll go 3 unassisted, and that'll end the 6th. We are off to the 7th. Cougars will look to close this thing out. They lead 3-2. Back here for the 7th inning in River Forest. The Cougars 3 outs away from a doubleheader split. Holly Beachy back to work on the bump. She's been tremendous in relief as that ball is grounded right to Haley Howard. She throws across the diamond to Pulaskis Lawhart to retire Loftswood for out number 1.
One out, that brings up the third baseman, number 2, Elise Power.
Elise Maurer now the batter. 1 away here in the 7th. Ball is fouled. Straight back for strike 1. And that ball is shot into left field, and the tying run is aboard with 1 out here in the 7th. A reminder, we did play extra innings in Game 1. Edgewood won Game 1 in 8. Beachy trying to avoid that now here, but she will have to do so while navigating the heart of this Edgewood order. That brings up the cleanup hitter now, Haley Kazaboski. First pitch is taken for a strike. Right down the plate from Beachy. She wastes no time and trying to work ahead here. Next offering from Beachy is taken for a ball. 1-1 now the count. Cougars will be at Alverno on Monday, off tomorrow for the Easter holiday. It's a doubleheader for them. That was just low, perhaps a bit outside. 2-1 is the count. Cougars, if they hold on to win, will move to 5-2 in conference play. That ball is fouled away. 2-2. And once again, fouled away. It remains 2-2. Yeah, it has gotten less warm here the past few minutes as the sun has really gone away behind the clouds. And strike 3, Beachy strikes out Kazaboski, and the Cougars are 1 out away from a doubleheader split. And fittingly, it is Grace Ott. She had the winning home run in the 8th inning of Game 1. She represents the final hope for the Eagles here now in Game 2. Eating on the mound, Coach O'Malley Fisher returns to the dugout. Players finish their conversation here. They're 1 out away from earning a split against a very good Edgewood team. This would be a very nice win for the Cougars to have in terms of conference standings, with the conference tournament approaching quicker than a lot of people may realize. The Cougars have a very busy week coming up as they now start to get some of their postponed games in, including a doubleheader on Wednesday right here in River Forest against the Milwaukee School of Engineering. That was previously postponed. That's strike from Beachy, 1-1. They will also play Dominican in a single game on Thursday, also here in River Forest. As that's fouled off, the Eagles are down to their final bullet. That game with Dominican is the second half of the season series. The first one, as we've mentioned, was played yesterday morning due to the Good Friday holiday. They were only able to get the one game in the morning. Game 2 will be Thursday right here at 4 o'clock. So a lot of action for the team. A lot of it here in River Forest, as that's ball 2. And Beachy will look to win the game here with one strike. Timeout is called at the plate. The pitch. Loop to short. Ose has got it. Cougars win. Beachy, a tremendous job out of relief. She'll get the win, her 5th of the season. As that does it for today's doubleheader, the Cougars earn a split with the Eagles. 2 fantastic games. Cougars win by 1 in Game 2 after falling by 1 in Game 1.
Final totals for Game 2 of our doubleheader. For Edgewood, 2 runs on 9 hits, 1 error, and 8 left on base.
That does it for us here in River Forest. The Cougars are winners in game number 2. They move to 5-2 in conference play with a big, busy week coming up. They're going to have a chance to put themselves in a really good position in the conference standings with some wins this week. We'll be back here on Wednesday afternoon on the Cougar Sports Network. Our next broadcast overall is baseball on Monday, a doubleheader against Illinois Tech, with the games scheduled for noon and 3. For all of us at the Cougar Sports Network and CUC Athletics, on behalf of my boss, our director, CJ Selner, all of our student working staff, in particular Ryan McGee and Amaya Martin, who were out here for both games with us today, I'm Justin Biorseth. Have a wonderful Easter. Go Cougars.